So the chakras are our connection to the universe. It's like our portal, it's our gateway, it's our interface between this individual structure and the universe around us. And each of the 7 chakras are in the spine. And very many teachings think that they're at the front of the body or the back of the body. There's an entrance to the chakras there, but the chakra itself is in the spine, but it's not in the physical spine. It's in the subtle channel of the physical spine, which you can't find if you could cut it open and do an autopsy. But what you find is through energetic experience, that energy flows through our biggest channel, the central channel of our being, and that's where the chakras are. Why do I care about chakras? Because they control everything in the human experience. Physical, energetic, emotional, and mental. And it's our psyche in each chakra. Our level of consciousness is in each center. And our karma. If you would like to change your path in life, you work with the chakras. Now don't worry if you don't feel the chakra, you do the technique, you focus your mind there, it's happening whether you can perceive it right now or not. So the chakras are an integral part of the tantric experience and study. It's part of our science. And we have 7 of them. The first one points down. Each of them has a specific frequency resonance of energy. So the first one, they each have a color because every color has a certain vibrational frequency, yes? Everyone has a specific sound. All of this is connected through vibration. And the root chakra is pointing down from the tip of the spine. At the physical level, that's at the perineum. You know that little space between the anus and genitals? That's the perineum, that's the entry point for the root chakra. And even through the anus, there's a connection there for the root chakra as well. So that's pointing down. Why? Because where's it getting the energy from? The earth. And the earth is feeding us our vitality. It's feeding us our food. It's giving us the battery of energy that we need. And the root chakra is the battery of life. So if people are feeling weak and run down, often it's because they don't have enough vitality at the level of the root chakra. So once we start to learn the science and the techniques, you have the self-awareness and say, well, I don't have enough vitality. Then you do techniques that are going to build up your connection to earth energy. Charge your root chakra. Let's say I don't have enough sexual energy. You work with the first and second chakras. I don't have enough fire of willpower. Work with the third chakra. My heart's blocked. Work with the fourth chakra. You get the point. Through self-analysis, through self-understanding, you know what you need to work on to amplify, to balance, to purify. Second chakra is at the level of just above, like it's at the level of the clitoris for women, just above that, and it's a level just above the insertion point of the penis, the lingam, into the physical body. And that is in the spine, okay? It's not at that point on the physical body, but that's an entrance point. Now we have an entrance point at the front of the body and at the back of the body. And in our practices today, we're going to understand, and we're going to start to actually stimulate these chakras a little bit with different modalities of touch. So then we move to the third chakra, that's the navel chakra. So first chakra is related to earth, second chakra is related to water. Each of the 5 elements that create the universe create our bodies. So as we start from the most grossest level, meaning the slowest vibration, the densest material, that's earth. Then we go to the next subtle vibration is water. Then we go to the next subtle vibration or element is fire, the element at the navel. So the second chakra, let's go back again. The first chakra is about survival. It's about material, relationship with material wealth. It's about stability, grounding, earth energy. The second chakra is about sensuality, sexuality, fluidity like water. It's about our emotions, our fantasy, and our creativity. The third chakra is fire. It's our willpower, our ego, our sense of dynamism, our moving in the world. Then we move up to the fourth chakra. That's the heart center. That's the air element, okay? We keep getting more and more refined as we move up. That's the element that's flowing, and the energy from the heart, luckily, flows out through the hands and arms into the other person. So this is why it's so powerful to use these hands as movers of energy, and especially connecting with love to the other being, consciously sending the energy from the heart out through the hands. And that's related to unconditional love, compassion, acceptance. You get the point, right? They're related to everything in our experience. So working with this is like having the insider's instruction manual for the robot that we are. Not that we're robots, but you get it. There's a manual to how we work. And it's not hidden anymore. It's not an esoteric thing. It's accessible to all of us. Now, when we move from the sense of me and ego and mine up to this, that's the biggest jump from one level of consciousness to the other, from selfishness to selflessness. And the greatest teachers that we think about in our history, the people like Buddha and Jesus and Gandhi and Mother Teresa and on, these were the people that made that leap from the third chakra to selflessness, to service, to helping humanity at the risk of their own health and wealth and personal well-being. And it's a very big jump. Most of the people live at level 1 and 2, survival and sensual pleasure. Let's just enjoy the sensuality of this material world. Let's have sex, let's get drunk, let's dance. All of that's wonderful. The people that really have activated more third level chakra, they're the ones who are running the world. They're the presidents, the dictators, the heads of companies, because they have strength and determination. The little second level or second chakra are like sheep, and the third level are like the sheep herders. Okay? They are the ones who are guiding other people. So then we go up to the heart, and those are the people that are serving. Not trying to guide others and control them, but they're serving the other people to help them come to their hearts. Then we move to the 5th level, and this is related to the element. The finest element of all the 5 is ether, or the space in which everything exists. So this is the level of purity, communication, the ability to speak truth and hear truth. And it's also spiritual intuition. So you can see there's a change in consciousness as we rise. And this is what we're doing at a very mechanical, practical way with our Tantra practice. You take the energy with the breath, with the visualization of a color, with a mantra of sound, with your voice or in your head, and you move the energy up. And then you open your consciousness, you open your capacities, you expand your abilities. So from the throat we go to the third eye. There's no more elements. We've transcended elements and we've gone into mind. And the mind is the control of the rest. So they call this the master. And when you have the master working for you, it begins to master the rest. The root lock, or the root chakra, is the key to life, to vitality. But this runs the show. Then when you transcend that, we're talking about mental capacities, memory, ability to think and rationalize, but even beyond that, abstract thinking and working with higher forms of clairvoyance and extrasensory perception, things like that, when it's really an open awareness. Then we go up to the highest, and that's the crown chakra. And that is our perception of unity, oneness. And we talked about raising the energy up. Okay, I don't want you to go cross-eyed about chakras. I just want you to understand that it's an important part of our practice. Don't worry if you don't feel it. We're going to work with the energy, and it will happen whether you feel it or not. So just is a very simplistic way of looking at the chakras. You could say the first one is about survival. Second, at the sexuality. The third, power. Fourth, love. Communication at the throat. Intuition, something greater than just mental capacities of rational thinking, but intuitive thinking, which means activating both sides of the brain. And then, of course, at the top, we have spirituality. Okay? But what I really want to show you is here, look, when we do these practices, we start to line up our chakras with each other. And then we understand that as we are moving through the practice, this is a key vocabulary word for Tantra. Sublimation. Sublimation means taking the energy from the lower chakras and moving it up. We're subliming the energy. And as we're doing that, when the energy moves up, it gets transformed, transmuted, refined. So we know that this is heavy, dense, low vibration energy, slow vibration. As it moves up, it gets more refined, finer, more refined, and then you can put it into the heart for the love. You get the message, right? So the idea is sublimation is what Tantra is really all about. Taking this energy from the bottom and moving it up. However, if you need to move it down again, that's okay. But we usually are working with evolving a higher consciousness. So we need to first develop a foundation. If you want to build a skyscraper, you got to have a really strong foundation. In order to go deep into Tantra, you need a strong root chakra. You need vitality for sexuality. So doing the practices, the breath, the asana. Everybody knows what asana means? Asana is physical yoga posture. So we do breath, we do asana, we do meditation. I can do a meditation on the root chakra, whereas I'm breathing in and out, I'm visualizing that red color at the bottom, and I'm saying a mantra for that chakra. So I'm incorporating different parts of the brain and then different parts of the awareness into activating the chakra. So we need the root to develop the foundation. So if you are concerned about opening the highest chakras, because I want to go all the way up to the top at the beginning, make sure you're grounded. The strongest trees have the deepest roots. Then they can grow the tallest. So it's really important to have that firm foundation. But sublimation is what we are doing. We're taking the energy from down here and moving it up. So if we want to keep moving energy up, we have to keep replenishing the roots. Very important part of it. Another side to this practice comes from the Taoist approach. And instead of just moving it up and up and up, the Taoists are actually very grounded. Tantra is like, all right, let's just blow up our crown chakra and go right to God. You know, that's the goal. The Taoists are more grounded, and they do a lot of Qigong practices and energy practices that send their roots down deep, and they circulate the energy through the being, and that nourishes the physical body. Because if all we do is send it up, eventually we can deplete the physical body, depending on how much vitality you have. So it's very important to understand, and we're going to talk and practice a little bit about this microcosmic orbit, up the spine, down the front. And it connects, so it goes up the spine, over the top of the head, through the front channel, and it connects by touching the tongue to the roof of the mouth. That connects an energy circuit. Then it comes down the front of the body, down through and back to that perineum, that space between the genitals and anus. And that's the microcosmic orbit. And we can use that to move the energy too. So it doesn't always have to be up. We can send it up and down, and that nourishes us. I like to do both. And we learn through experience and practice which one is working for us and when we need to alternate between the two practices.